होगा ही, वो तो होना ही है।
DBMS है और उसका ये है एनालिसिस एल्गोरिथम शायद
एनालिसिस है, राइट
शायद है।
But Java, he should learn Java.
He should learn Java. Should learn
Anyway,
Java.
hope you all enjoy learning Java.
पता नहीं I'll try my best कि मुझे जितना पता है मैं explain कर सकूं. I think everybody is here, whoever is connected are okay with.
Yeah, no problem. So you please go ahead, and I will also be there. So there will be no problem. I am sure that everyone will enjoy the Java subject, and it is the most important programming language till today. So although Python is taking its place, but in my guess, I am spending over 20 years in this industry. So I can assure you, Java will stay another 10 years at least for me. So learning Java is very much essential. So Srikant ji, please, you can start.
हाँ ठीक है. Before I start, just let me tell you a few things to all of you. I think all of us that we have, those who have connected here, are okay with English and Hindi, I hope, or I should go with only English.
Bro, you go with only English, bro, because we can't understand him.
Yeah, I think Kartik, Sai-Priya also are not comfortable will be in Hindi.
Yes.
No problem. I'll try my best. I'll try my best to explain the things in English. I don't know how far I'll go, but I'll try my best.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
So I can see a lot of friends joined, like Asutosh. Yeah, this is more. I am actually more than happy. Like I'm excited to interact with you all. Like I can find Asutosh, Karthik, Apurva, Bipin, Srinivas, a lot of people. Swaris bhai to hai hi. Sai Priya. I think.
Good evening, bhai. Good evening, Swaris bhai. Good evening,
Sandeep.
Sandeep.
Sandeep is looking after me. I don't know. He'll bite me. Dikesh, Sodin, Vini, a lot of people. So thank you all for joining. I'll try my best to explain the things that I know a bit. But at any point of time, everyone is welcome. Like you can interrupt me at any point of time if you have some question. If you want to, make some corrections on me. So everything is open here. I'll try my best to explain the things. So before I start, can you help me in few things? How many of us, like whoever is connected here, have is programming background, like this way or the other? Small something regarding the programming background, like we know programs, we have done programming in some language, like that.
I don't have any knowledge in programming language.
Ashutosh, you are basically a non-IT, not a background, right?
Yes. Yeah.
No problem. Karthik?
I have.
Since it's my first language, then I'll definitely try to learn this.
No issues. We'll go through. As I said, I'll try my best to, explain the things to all of you so that we all can enjoy. Karthik, I think you have some knowledge in back.
Yeah, I have. Yes, I have some knowledge, but I have studied last 5 years back, so I have forgotten everything. If you start from scratch, it will be helpful.
I am planning to start from the scratch. Let's see. Again, the problem is time constant. But from the beginning, we need to go slow, like 2-3 sessions. Then we can pick the speed.
Correct. Yes, we have the time, right? We can plan and we can schedule.
Absolutely. Apurva, I'm just asking to like whoever is have any background knowledge in programming. Apurva has some problem with the mic. I think she will answer in the chat box. Bipin, I think you have some programming background.
I have little programming background.
Great.
I've done few programs, smaller ones.
that will be a great help for me. Anyway, so what I can find is mixture of people having some knowledge and programming background, and some are completely new to this programming world and all. So what I'll do is I'll go from scratch, like what exactly programming languages are and how they are basically implemented and all. Then we will move through the journey of Java. I have planned like that. If you all are okay with that, then we can go ahead.
Yes, cool, bro.
And please help me, all of you, please help me in interacting to make the session interactive. By the time if some discussions are going on, please participate so that it will motivate all of us. Fine. That's the basic thing. Not in the prospect of programming language, not in the prospect of computer programming language. It's as you all will agree with me, to go to anywhere, in any part of the world, anywhere in the world. Is it happening for all or
Yes, Srikant
Yes,
bhai.
yes, for all.
Not audible clearly.
all, right? Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. Let me check my file.
My internet is slow.
And this is any recording session?
Yeah, this will be recorded. Shashikala ji, I hope you are recording, na? Okay,
Okay.
so
अच्छा, is it audible now?
yeah,
हाँ, ठीक है, ठीक है. हाँ, कुछ बात कर रहे थे, sorry, Jago.
yeah. I'm just putting something in it before starting the hard discussion on Java. So I
अरे
just
brother, this
remember
is not
something.
hard. We are
As,
just
as,
discussing. Hard मत बनाओ
no,
यार.
no, why not? So the thing is like that. See, the first question comes arise: what are the kinds of Java? है ना? If somebody asks you what are the kind of Java, okay, I face this question somewhere.
Right,
So
right.
somebody replied me.
Uh-huh.
See, somebody replied me. There are two kinds of Java. One is Mer Java,
Right.
and the other is Mid Java. That time, the song was famous by our.
मेरे पास और भी एक जावा है.
अच्छा होगा, बस उस समय एक
निकल
सॉन्ग चल रहा था बहुत.
निकल जावा.
तो Mer Java and Mid Java, those are the two kinds of Java. Anyway, you start. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. So before getting into any computer programming language, I think all of us have completely covered that computer architecture part. At least we have some knowledge. The computer only can understand binary language, that is 0 and 1. That's for sure. It doesn't know anything except 0 and 1. So whatever the thing I'm going to instruct the computer, that should be in 0 and 1 format. Don't get scared. We are not going to write the program in 0 and 1. I think we all know this. Why I'm telling all this? Because whenever we are talking about a language, forget about computer language for a few minutes. Language is the only way of communicating things between
Hello?
two
Your
two
voice
items.
is
Hello?
breaking.
Still,
Hello?
it is still
Yeah.
it is
Oh,
still
my
breaking.
internet is slow. I
Yes,
don't know.
yes. There are some issue with your voice, Kanji.
Issue with my voice, right? I don't know what is happening with this Wi-Fi. Take a second. Let me change the Wi-Fi if that works. ये पहले दिन से ऐसा होगा तो कैसे चलेगा? एक सेकेंड. Is this fine now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. It's good.
I don't know. Airtel is not watching this time. And please confirm once you can able to see my screen.
No, it's now visible.
Visible, right? So we were talking
Yeah.
about a language. As you all of us know, I'm not going to explain that. Language is a way of communicating things between two items. As far as my knowledge is concerned, there are four things between which we are basically communicating. We can communicate. A machine can communicate with a machine, or a machine can communicate with a human being. A human being can communicate with a machine, and a human being can communicate with a human being. So these are the four kind of communication we basically know, right? In each of these communication, only one component is vital and required. That is a language. And you all again agree with me. The language should be compatible to both these sides. One, the person who is communicating. Second, the person who is receiving that communication. So that is the normal way of communicating things between two items. It could be man to man, it could be man to machine, or anything it could be. So that's why we have different set of languages. If I know English, if I know Hindi, and if I know Odia, if I have to talk with a, people who know Chinese, then this is disastrous. Like I could not able to communicate with these people who know Chinese. So what I require, I require a translator who can translate my things into Chinese and vice versa, so that communication can hold good. So to learn the language more precisely, we need to understand how the languages has been generated from back in days, like when computers are basically created, like first generation computer, second generation. I'm not going that. The first language, as I have shared with you, writing programs in 0 and 1. This is a machine level language where machine can directly understood. And the next generation of language, we have started to transfer some of the 0 1 codes into mnemonic codes. I'm not going in detail about this because I know you all of us knows about this. I'm just refreshing this one. I'm just trying to touch high level language, then followed by Java, so that a journey of Java will be completed. I hope all these are okay with all of you, right?
Yes, bro.
Okay, thank you. So when we think about machine level language, see, for a human being, it's always pretty difficult to write everything in 0 and 1. Say, for example, if I have to write add two numbers, 23 and 34. Back in days when the computers are generated, there will be only one language called as machine level language. We need to convert this 23 into a set of 0 and 1, plus is into 0 and 1, 34 into 0 and 1. Then finally, our computer can understand and give us the result. This was the life back in the early days when computers used to start, right? And I don't have to explain. You all are capable. You can understand. Writing everything into 0 and 1 is more than disastrous. Like as a human being, I cannot remember all the things in 0 and 1. Even if at some point of time, if I have to write my name, you can understand the problem, right? So few years later, the people the pins here. Is it?
No, it
I
was
don't know.
visible.
It was shared. शशि जी आप पिन कीजिए उसको.
You can pin it.
मैंने दोबारा शेयर कर दिया है. अभी एक्चुअली एक सेशन चल रहा था, मैं कहाँ गया?
Yeah.
अच्छा, अभी शायद स्क्रीन दिख रहा है?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So what we did, we have tried to convert some part of this binary program or machine language program into some symbolic formats. Like instead of writing this 0 and 1 for this addition, what we use in the next generation of language, maybe there are a couple of zeros and ones might be there. but some symbols are now replaced with add. Some symbols are replaced with subtract. Means not all the parts are changed. Few parts are changed, and those codes which are replaced by some English alphabets, we call those codes are mnemonic codes. Right. Now the language is called as assembly language. The first generation language is machine level language, second one is assembly language. Now, here the real problem starts. Assembly language, okay, we can understand for a human being, it is bit comfortable that 0 and 1. We cannot able to remember all the things in 0 1, but it's pretty easy to write the things like add, subtract, product, store, like that. Those are bit easy than the earlier language, right? So now the real problem begins here. We can write in this way, no problem. But our computer, it knows only 0 and 1. Very rigid. It can only understand 0 and 1, nothing else. So in between, what we need to do, we need one more component called as assembler. So assembler is now a component which will help me to convert these assembly language into machine level format, so that computer can understand and it can produce the output as per my instructions. So first generation language, second generation language. So second generation language is bit easier than the first generation language. But here we need to carry one extra luggage, that is assembly language. That is the assembler. Without assembler, I can't do anything because I am not the person who can convert that one into 0 and 1. And our system only understands 0 and 1. The next story is, again, this is again a hectic task. Now, few developers thought, let's design some easier component. Now, what they did, they have designed some language called as high-level language. What they did, they converted all the instruction into a human-readable form, means English only. If I have to instruct the computer to add two numbers, 23 and 43, exactly I have to represent it in this way. I think this is completely in human readable form. Every human being can understand what has been written and what has been instructed. Now, the same problem is there. Even we can write 23 and 43, no problem, we can write, but computer won't understand. Similarly, as in the second generation case, we were requiring an assembler. Here, we require translators. Now, at that point of time, translator came in two different flavors. First, a translator called as interpreter. Second kind of translator is called as a compiler. So two very powerful translators has been designed, whose responsibility is to convert high-level language into a machine-readable form language, so that machine can understand my language and give the output as per my instruction. Fine. I think up to this, the people who are starting from the scratch, they are comfortable. For others, I know it's a boring one.
Yeah,
I hope
we are good. Yeah,
No, it is good.
that's it.
yeah,
So,
so far it's good. Yeah, thank you so much.
so the problem here is we need to differentiate. You can, like, there might be a question, biggest doubt, sir, brother, why they have designed two instead of one? Some points are there, some things are there that has encouraged them to either go for interpreter or go for compiler. Interpreter or compiler, both of them are called as language translators, right? And trust me, both of them are software, they are not hardware. So a lot of people have a thought in interpreter and compiler that there might be hardware. No, they are software. How they are working, like, suppose this is my program, I have written a program, regardless of which program, maybe C programming language, maybe C++, maybe Java, whatever the language it could be. I have written some program in some programming language. I need to pass my program through a translator. The responsibility of the translator is to convert that particular code into equivalent binary code or machine level code. Now, machine level code is directly understood by a computer, and here we can directly understand, this one is directly understood by a human body, right? And this component helps me to convert this one into this one. Now, the program that I have written is called as a source program. Means Source program is a kind of program that is written with the help of a programming language called as maybe C, C++, Java, Python, any programming language it could be. Now, once that one passed through either a compiler or an interpreter, finally it is getting converted into machine level. Sometimes this one called as object program. Yeah, it has different names for different programming languages, but in general, we have accepted it. Source program is written by the human being. Object program is the output of a compiler or an interpreter. This is generic. But when we'll go through Java, the scenario, the story will be completely different. But to make that interesting, you need to follow all the things. I hope up to this that should be some clarity about the translator. I hope everybody following what I'm just trying to explain.
Yes, bro. We got the things.
Very clear.
Thank you. So let us differentiate between this interpreter and compiler. Again, I'll tell you what I'm explaining now. This is not exactly in connection with Java, because interpreter and compiler both are differently defined in Java, but in generic they are different. So don't mix both of them. As we grow in the programming, we'll understand the difference. So for this class, for up to this, what exactly interpreter is and what exactly compiler is, let me explain. With an example, a simple one. Suppose I have written a program that consists of 5 lines, 5 programming lines. I pass this particular program through an interpreter, and also I pass this program to a compiler. Now let us see what exactly the difference between these two. Simple difference. As the name is interpreter, the role of the interpreter, once you submit the program to the interpreter will take the first line first. It will convert the first line into object program or machine readable program code, execute that one. Once everything is completed for line 1, then it will go to line 2. Once everything is completed for line 2, it will go to line 3. If it found any problem, maybe syntax error, maybe some spelling mistake, maybe some grammatical mistake, whatever the mistake it could be, due to some reason, if line number 3 could not able to convert or could not able to execute, this interpreter will stop its execution right from here. This is the behavior, or this is the working of an interpreter. Interpreter always go line by line, not whole at a time. As I said, it will go for line number 1 first, convert, interpret. Second one, convert, execute. Third one, convert, execute. And this procedure will go on and on till I reach end of the file. This is the role of an interpreter. Similarly, for compiler will take the whole program at a time, whole program. It goes for a checking called as syntax checking. If syntax means the rules by which you are writing a program, like you have written the proper statements or not, with the proper rules and regulations or not. If it found any problem, it will give you all the errors at a time, not one by one, at a time. Once you clear all the errors, then you can proceed for execution. That is the only difference. Compiler goes whole at a time, interpreter goes line by line. But both have one similarity. Both of them are called as language translators, right? Now here I have a question. Question is, interpreter and compiler both are softwares. Now once I give the interpreter, let's say I'll go like this. A person is there who can translate Chinese to English, only Chinese to English. Now, can this person be used to translate Japanese to English? Can it be? He knows only Chinese. He knows Chinese, he knows English. So he can translate Chinese language into English. Now, I asked him, brother, can you please translate Japanese to English for me? No. Immediately, he will say, no, brother, I'm sorry. So what I mean to say is, for every language, there is a unique interpreter or unique compiler. C compiler cannot able to compile Java program. Java compiler cannot able to compile C program. So every program has its own compiler or interpreter. I have to follow accordingly. Fine?
Yes.
That's great. So now I think we understood the stages of programming language, how they are generated from machine level language to high level language. Apart from all these languages, we have one more language called as a fourth generation language. We are calling that one. That is basically SQL. Swaris will take the responsibility of this SQL in RDBMS. He will explain everything about SQL. We are not going in detail about SQL. So now, why I discussed all this? Because the first thing we need to understand is Java is a high level language. Means the statements I am going to write in Java are purely in human readable form. We only need to understand how they are used, when they are used, and how I can improve the efficiency of the program. That's why I've gone through all these basics. Right? See, when languages are generated, then the next biggest question there in the mind of all the developers are, let us create a simple model for programming language. How the programming language, what are the different types of ways that we can able to solve a particular problem. Say, for example, somebody has assigned a bigger task to you. Suppose this is a particular thing I need to go for a challenge. This is a particular task I need to perform. So they have designed a model called as procedure-oriented model, or somebody call this as procedure-oriented approach. What exactly that one? What they did, they have converted a complex task into small number of small tasks. Now a bigger program is now converted into small programs. That you might call that one as function, you might call that one as method, whatever you call that one. Now, instead of executing this one as a whole, we go on calling each of the function using any programming language, and finally got the output. This kind of approach, we are calling this approach as procedure-oriented approach. We can take an example of that one. If I'll ask all of you, because I know the thing that I'm going to ask is very famous. All of us know here. If I'll ask
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
Sekanji, I have to leave now. Okay, so please continue and hope you all will enjoy. I will continue our discussion on Sunday, obviously for DBMS, and in next week maybe I will be there for full time.
No
Okay?
problem.
Thank you,
Sekanji.
Sekanji.
Thank
Okay,
you.
okay.
Thank you, Sorish bhai. Thank you.
Yeah. Good night.
Anyway, so what we are discussing about procedure-oriented approach. Now, if I'll ask you, can you please tell me the procedure of preparing Maggie? I think this is very known to all of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So first thing, most of us said, come on, boil water in a vessel, then wait for 2 minutes, then put your
2
Maggi
minutes.
packet, cook the Maggi masala, and then it is ready to serve. So these are few steps by using which I can easily prepare Maggi, right? Now, this particular approach is called as procedure-oriented approach. I have not prepared the Maggi as a whole. What I did, I have converted that one into small functions. First function, let's boil the water. Second function, put the Maggi in the boiled water. Third function, put that Maggi magic masala into Maggi. Fourth one, cook for 2 minutes. Next, it is ready to serve. So these are the 5 steps by using which my Maggi is ready. This is one project. I hope all are following me.
Yes, bro. Yes.
And this approach is called as procedure-oriented approach, right? And this approach has n number of advantages and n number of disadvantages. Advantage, when a complex program is converted into small programs, it's very easy to find out the error, very easy to write the codes. So things are easy, right? But again, there is a difficult part also. difficult parts are, suppose, yeah, I said, all of us know the process. Now, in between what we did, we have prepared the Maggie for 10 people. We are preparing the Maggie for 10 people. We have brought all the things. The solution is there. Now, in between, I asked, can we go for 100 people? Now, again, I have to restart the process, right? Again, I have to restart the process because things are procedure oriented. We need to restart the entire program. We cannot create that one dynamically. No, we cannot create. So, this, as I said, each approach has its own advantage, has its own disadvantage. So, procedure-oriented approach or functional approach has some advantage, has some disadvantage. This is one approach. So now, the developer thought, let's think the problem as we are visualizing in a normal human brain. Say, for example, the same example I'll go through. Whenever somebody asks you, my project is to prepare a Maggie, first approach, how we basically see that one. First approach, we are noting down all the ingredients that we require. Am I right? All the ingredients, maybe Maggie, water, a container, whatever. Then what we did, when we are going for boiling the thing, see, boil is a behavior, boil is a process. Whom to boil? Water is to boil. So now water is an object who needs to be boiled. Clear? Here we are not emphasizing on the process, we are emphasizing on the object. Water needs to boil. Here, Maggie needs to be put. So Maggie is an object, needs to be boiled, is a process. In procedure-oriented approach, we have one step, put that one, that's boiled. Boil the water. We are not going through, take this one, there is one object, we are not thinking of that one. But here, we need to think, if you are taking a water, what are the properties of water? What are the behavior of water? Like, behavior is we can boil the water. Let's say we can freeze the water, we can drink the water. These are three different properties of water. Among all these behaviors, I need one, that is boiling. So I'll go for it. I hope you all are following me. The differentiation, not basic differentiation between a procedure-oriented approach and an object-oriented approach, right?
Yes, bro, it's clear.
So in order to understand object-oriented approach, as we go on, we have n number of examples that will give us much clarity. Let me tell you the advantage of object-oriented. Whenever we are going for object-oriented approach, we need to understand three things. One is definitely a class, one is definitely an object, and the third one is a reference variable. We need to understand about these three, then we can easily understand object-oriented concept.
Can you repeat this once more, bro? This 1, 2, 3.
First one is a class.
Okay.
Second one is an object. Third one is a reference variable.
Okay.
We'll understand in 2-3 minutes with a simple example. Then we'll continue the discussion on features of Java and why Java is there and why we should learn Java. We'll go through. Now, think of
In here we will not use abstraction and encapsulation.
abstraction and encapsulation. Will go through once we could able to understand what are the basic things of an object-oriented program. Then those are the features: encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, security. A lot of things are there that will follow. But to understand all of them, we need to understand the basic structure, because
Yes.
polymorphism
Okay.
is an example
With
of
the
object.
starting word.
So fine. So let us understand all these three things, because to understand, see, these three things are not only for Java, this is for any programming language where object-oriented is supported. Even this of the object-oriented model that we have, we can also follow this structure. No problem at all. This is generic. So let me tell you what exactly a class is, what exactly an object is, and what exactly a reference. Very simple. Let's say we all of us know. I'll take a brand. Let me talk about. I hope if I'm writing MI4A TV, this is quite all. This is known to all of us, right? There is a model MI TV. Okay, fine. Before MI TV was brought into market, the engineers, whoever there for MI, they definitely proposed a model. Fine? Definitely proposed a model. In that model, they have given some specification. Right? The RAM size, the operating system, uh, like the screen size, the color. Let's say these are the properties of MITV. And using all these properties, what we can do, we can browse the internet, we can run YouTube, we can see all the TV channels like that. So here, two things you need to concentrate actually. Properties are like what is the RAM size, what is the internal ROM size, what is the operating system. These are the properties of MI, and these are the behavior of MI. Properties, behavior. Attributes, you can say functionality. Clear? And this is what I'm talking before MITV came into market. Clear? Before it is produced. I'm just before the production. It is just the designing phase. Clear? I hope you all are following, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now if I'll say this is a blueprint of MI4A, I hope I'll be correct. This is a blueprint. This is a skeleton. Fine?
Correct.
Now this one is called as a class. Few things are pretty clear here. Class basically don't have any existence. Don't have any existence. It is on a conceptual model. I propose a class called as MI4A. The name of the class is MI4A. That means it contains some properties like internal RAM size, RAM size, ROM size, operating system. It can contain what is the screen size and the color of the TV. Then using and what I can enjoy as an end user, what I can see, I can browse the internet using this TV. I can see all the movie channels. I can browse the YouTube also. So these are the properties of MI4A. Properties and behavior, right? If I combine properties and behavior together, what comes out is called as a class. I hope clear.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Now, once the plan is ready, plan is approved, plan is ready. Now, this is for manufacture. Now, all the TV that has manufactured from this design will have same property, will have same functionality, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Suppose 1,000 televisions, 1,000 MI TV sets have been manufactured. Now, all these TV sets have same functionality. Maybe color might be different, RAM size might be, some cases might be different, but not all the cases. But maximum properties are same. Almost all the properties and all the behaviors are same. Now, these TV sets, does this TV set has existence or not?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I can see that TV, I can touch that TV, right? It has some existence, right? And when I say this is a MI TV, that means it contains all these properties. Similarly, when we say int A, can you recall? When I say int A, means A hold all the properties of integer, right? Similarly, when I say this one is a product of this class, which class? MI4A. Fine, I understood. The properties of MI4A basically built in here. Now, this is what called as an object. Am I clear about object? I hope some clarity there from like class and object, right?
Yeah.
Now, from a basic point of view, which comes first? Class comes first or object comes first?
Class comes first.
Obvious. Class comes first. If there is one class, how many objects I can create? N number of objects.
N number of.
So the relationship between a class and an object is from one class I can grow from N.
It's like a template, right?
Yes, it's a template only. Class is a template only. Class is a template. Class is a blueprint. Class is a concept. Yes, please.
Class is a blueprint of an object, like.
Yes, you are absolutely right. It's a blueprint only. It's a blueprint only. When it is coming into reality, it's an object. Or sometimes you define object is an instance of a class. But class is basically defined as the combination of behaviors and properties together. But if you ask few people about the definition of the class, you have some answers like class is a combination of similar kind of object. But if I have to define a class with the help of an object, why should I define it? That's what I think. When we say class, that should be a clarity. What class contains? Properties and behavior. That's it. Nothing else. Only very simple. The properties, what it contains, and the behavior, what I can do in that class. Right? Now I think these two terminologies are pretty clear. Class and object.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now, one class I have n objects. Now the next one. MITV specification, I brought one MITV. Then with that MITV, TV manufacturing company gave me a remote, right? They provided me a remote to run this TV, right? Now, with the help of this remote, I can operate this television set. Now, this one is called as reference. Understood? With that small remote, I can operate that TV. TV is an object. Clear. Now, reference is also an object, but reference is object. It is not an object of MI class. Reference is a. So this remote is a reference to my MI TV. With the help of that reference, I can happily enjoy all the properties, all the behavior of MI TV. Tell me, is this clear?
So it's like an object which controls that machine, right?
See, everything that has an existence is called as an object.
Yes.
Similarly, remote is also an object. But here our discussion is this particular object acts as a reference to the MI.
Okay.
MI TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are talking in that way. This remote is an object, obviously, because for this remote there should be a blueprint. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
there should be a blueprint. So now the question is, for one object, how many reference can be created? One, more than one. How many? Like for one class, I have n objects. For one object, I have. What do you think? For one object, I have one reference only. Number of reference. Any? It's a normal one. For one TV, there will be one remote or more than one remote.
There will be one remote.
Mostly one remote,
But it can be two, it can be three, it can be four, right?
Yes.
Obviously, so for one object, I can have more references, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So the relationships are pretty clear. For one class, I have n objects. For each object, I can have n references.
N number of reference.
So
Yeah.
these are the hierarchy these are the basic concept of any object-oriented programming language. Any object-oriented programming language. And this is how Java is built. We cannot do anything in Java without this class, without the object, without the reference variable. I think the basic things I'm just trying to explain. If you are following, then I think I'll be more than happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we almost followed. Yeah, thanks so much. If you can summarize quickly, that would be good. But yeah, just maybe follow.
At the end of the session, we'll summarize the entire thing that we have discussed.
Sure. Thanks so much.
That would be good.
We'll do that. So we have just discussed few things, like we have started from the language history. We have started from binary language, then we have followed with assembly language, where 0 1s are replaced with mnemonic codes, and followed by assembler, who will help me to convert that assembly language into machine level language. convert
भाई आपका आवाज थोड़ा कट रहा है. I mean,
executor program. Now, when we are coming to a programming language, and when we are into solving a particular problem, we are following two different approach. One approach is procedure oriented approach, where we are emphasizing into functionality, not into object. But in the second format, the most priority always goes to object. Here, priority are functionals. Here, the priority is object. And to understand object, we have just discussed three very vital things: class, object, and a reference variable. These three are very, very vital to understand any object-oriented programming concept. I hope up to this, we don't have any problem, right? Okay, let me tell you how this Java. Anybody here interested to know the history of Java? That I don't think we require that one.
no.
We should not go there.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll directly talk to Java. Let me clear one thing. Java is designed only to follow object-oriented programming language. So Java is object-oriented programming language only. But if somebody asks me, is Java a pure object-oriented programming? My answer will be no.
No.
It is not. It is not. We have some reasons we'll follow. But yes, it is true. Java is an object-oriented programming language. Right? So let me tell you the first difference between Java and any other programming language. Like just earlier, I have shared with all of you, whenever there is a programming language, we need a translator. That translator converts the program into machine readable format so that my computer can understand and it can directly give me output. So this is the normal scenario or generic scenario for almost all the languages, not Java. Like in C, we compile the program. Then finally it is converted into object format or binary format. We have executed the program, done. No problem at all. Fine. But in Java, let me tell you the problem here in this approach. Whenever we are downloading an exe file, see, whenever I said this is in machine readable format, definitely it will be in a exe format, executable format. Now, whenever we are executing this particular one, there might be chance some very intelligent people there in the world what they can do, they can inject their code directly into this. They can inject their code directly in this. So sometimes we say that my program has been hacked or there are some virus there in my program. What these particular codes will do, they will manipulate in your program in a different manner. So this is where the threat is. I hope this part you could able to follow. Suppose I have written a program to add two numbers. Now they have injected one more code which will convert my plus into multiplication. Now the story is, wow, I have written the program for addition. Now it is multiplying. So this is what the effect of virus is. But that is not virus. This is only the programmer or the people who have injected their code into exe. That is the problem. But in Java, the scenario is completely different. Java, that's why Java is called a secure programming language. Now, suppose I have to write a program in Java. This is a Java program. Now, once I have completed writing a Java program, the next step is to compile. Obviously, to compile, we have a Java compiler. This Java compiler, as per the discussion, this code should be converted into machine readable. Please listen to my words. I said the compiler is responsible to convert the source code into object code, means machine readable format. But this was not true for Java. I repeat, this is not true for Java. Java says, if you pass this program through my compiler, what I'll do, I'll convert that Java program into some intermediate format, not machine code, some intermediate format. And that format is called as bytecode. I repeat, this is not in machine readable form. This is in some other format. That format is called as bytecode. Definitely there may be a doubt. Brother, if it is not understood by the machine, how come we able to execute? How come we able to produce the output? Because machine can't understand. No problem. This is not machine dependent language. We have n number of solutions for that. What Java did? Now Java said, once you compile the program, please feed that program into one more component called as interpreter. Here, interpreter is not a language translator. I repeat, in Java, interpreter is not a compiler, not a language translator. This interpreter is called as JVM, known as Java Virtual Machine. I repeat, once I write a Java code, I need to compile it. Once I compile the Java code using Java compiler, it will give me an intermediate code. That code is called as bytecode. That is not a machine, that is not in machine readable format. This is an intermediate format only. That intermediate format should be fed into one more component called as interpreter, which is none other than JVM, that is Java Virtual Machine. Now, Java Virtual Machine is responsible for producing this Java Virtual Machine is responsible to producing the corresponding machine level code. Now, JVM is responsible, we can say in general, JVM is a component which is responsible to execute this bytecode. So, bytecode cannot understood by machine. To understand that, we need one more thing that is called as interpreter. You can ask me here. If this is the case, performance of Java will be definitely degraded. Am I right? Because we are carrying lot of additional luggage. Compile this one, interpret this one, then go for execution. Come on, this is rubbish. I think this might be the outcome if somebody thinks like in normal aspect. Am I right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
But here, see, if we need some security, we need to sacrifice a bit of performance. You will agree on that. Simple. If my entire house is locked, if I want to secure my entire house, I'll go on putting locks in almost all the doors. So to open those locks, I need time. Of course, I need time. But by doing that, my house is secured. You'll agree with me. So to make it secure, a bit of compromise can be done. So performance might degrade, but not that way. Not that great degradation. Small degradation will be there. That's for sure. Now, how it is secure? Let me tell you. So here, the thing is, let us say that the people who are very intelligent people, they are trying to write their bytecode directly here so that it can be getting converted. There might be a chance, right or wrong? In the same case. But here, your JVM, Java Virtual Machine, is very, very intelligent. It has a component called as code verifier. Code verifier. What it will do? Code verifier will confirm that the code, that is the bytecode, basically that bytecode came from a valid Java compiler or not. If it is not came from a valid Java compiler, it won't get interpreted. That means even if some person injected his or her code, since this particular code is not came from this compiler, JVM said, boss, I don't know you. You please move. You please go back. So those parts will not be executed. So chances of getting corrupted up or chances of changing my programming code will never happen. So this is the way how Java maintains security. Trust me, if you are downloading any Java bytecode program, any Java JAR file program, you are safe. There cannot be any kind of code which will, make harm to your computer, because Java is secure. And this is the mechanism. This is one of the mechanisms why it is called secure. So for here, two definitions has been already changed. That is the definition of the compiler and definition of interpreter. Previously, what we discussed, compiler will convert the entire one into machine code. Here, no. Compiler will convert the entire one into byte code. Now, interpreter, basically the name of the interpreter of Java is called as JVM. JVM will not a language translator, it is basically there to execute this byte code. I hope all these things are a bit clear regarding Java. How Java is different from all other languages. So this is how Java is different. This is one part only. This is, we say Java is secured in that way. If you have any question, we can go ahead.
Bro, one thing, in Java compiler itself, we have Java virtual machine, right?
Java compiler itself, we have Java virtual machine. No. See, if somebody is using Java 12.12.0 onwards, they might go for only one statement Java followed by something .java. That doesn't mean we have Java compiler is inside Java. The JVM is inside Java compiler. No. Let me tell you what exactly. Two things are there. One, there are two different kind of users. One user is called as a programmer. One user is called as the user or your client, for which you are creating a application, creating a software. Now the programmer need to write the program, compile the program, test the program, means execute the program. But here, this user only need to execute the program. He don't need to compile the program. He don't need anything else. Am I right?
Okay.
For this programmer, we have a component in Java called as JDK, Java Development Kit. Java Development Kit is one component where Java compiler, Java interpreter, all are there. Fine. But for user or the client, only JRE is there. JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment, which is a part of JDK. Because this particular person only need to execute the Java program. He don't need to compile the program. He don't need to write the code. So since JRE is inside JDK and JRE can be separated, so we cannot say Java compiler contains interpreter. I hope you got that clarity.
Yes, got it.
So if I plot the structure actually, how Java will look like, this is what Java JDK is. This is what JRE is. JRE means your JVM and maybe some libraries. But here, Java compiler is there. So the entire one is called as JDK. So JVM is a separate component and Java compiler is a separate component.
Yes, got it. Thanks.
But as a programmer, we need both. So whenever we are installing Java, we have to make sure we are installing JDK, not JRE, because using JRE, we cannot able to compile the program. We cannot able to write a program and compile the program. We can only execute the program. And in Java, the thing that can be executed is only byte code, nothing else. But to create a byte code, I need a Java compiler. So Java compiler belongs to JDK, not belongs to JRE. So after this, if we'll download Java and try to use it, please make sure you are downloading JDK one, not JRE. I hope.
Can you please tell me?
श्रीकांत भाई,
हाँ बोलो.
श्रीकांत भाई, कोड ब्लॉक्स में जावा रन होता है क्या?
Okay. Good. As I just said, Java JDK is a component which will provide me tools to compile the program and to run the program. JRE is one more tool that will only provide a tool to run the program. Now, to write a Java program, what we need an editor. And Java, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, Java do not provide you any kind of editor. Java don't have any editor. So we can use a lot of different editors. We can use Notepad. We can use Sublime. we can use Notepad++, we can use Eclipse, we can use NetBeans, we can use IntelliJ, we can use code blocks, where I can write my Java code. So to write the Java code, I can follow any editor. If that editor has a facility, or if that editor allow me to assign or to incorporate my Java compiler into its editor, then I can happily compile my Java program even if staying in that editor. Otherwise, it is not possible. That purely depends upon the editor you are using and what kind of Java up to what kind of Java platform it supports. We have a lot of different kinds of editor, like the famous editor, the people who are using, who are bit expert in Java, they are using Eclipse. Some people follows Sublime, some people follows NetBeans. So different kinds of Java editors or Java IDEs, as IDEs stand for Integrated Development Environment, are there. But as a beginner, I'll always suggest all of us here, whoever is learning Java from scratch, I'll honestly want everybody to initially don't go for any IDE. Try to write the program in a small editor like Sublime or Notepad, compile it, run it, so that once 5/10 of their Java basics are completed, you can happily switch over to any editor. Otherwise, if you will directly switch over to editor, lot of things will be there in the background you could not able to understand. Otherwise, editors are very, very good, but not for the beginners. That is not recommended for the beginners. Code block, I think code block is a good choice. You can use it. So I hope.
Shrikant bhai, your voice is breaking.
There was a call. That's why my voice was. No, I think now it's okay.
हाँ.
अरे क्या होता है कॉल आ जाता है मेरे वाई पे पास काम नहीं करता इको किसी का शायद स्पीकर ऑन इसलिए कॉल है. So I think we have only discussed few basics of Java. I think up to this I have tried my best. I don't know you all.
अरे बहुत ही था. अरे श्रीकांत भाई ये क्लास लोडर क्या होता है?
Sorry.
क्लास लोडर
क्लास लोडर
ये बाइट को कन्वर्ट करने के लिए होता है क्या?
No, client is one part, but class has a lot of other functionalities also. When we go for JVM architecture, that part we discuss everything about the class loader, linker, maybe load balancer, everything will discuss. Somebody is writing something in the chat, I hope. Signed echoing.
Sound is echoing करके.
Somebody's speaker is on, I hope.
अरे
Srinivas bhai, your speaker was on.
Now I think it's okay.
मेरा क्या?
पता नहीं.
Yeah, I think whenever you're on, Srinivas, please check. Yeah.
So I think at least we understand what exactly Java is and how it is one way different from other programming languages. And now we are entering into a world where we'll only learn object-oriented programming language, and maybe we might discuss few features of Java. We can expect this as a 7 marks question in our semester also. I have seen a lot of universities, a lot of colleges putting these questions in their semester exams and tests. Please write down all the features of Java. So, in short, Java has a lot of features, but I'll only discuss few of them. This is to start with. This is a simple programming language. This is a language which is called as platform independent.
JVM ये सब तो platform dependent है ना?
Good question. Actually, JVM is platform dependent, but JDK is not platform dependent. Sure. I'll explain that one. Simple programming language, platform independent. Let me tell you one thing. I am very, very bad at writing. Spelling mistake is very common to me.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, चलेगा.
No, that's my problem. I'm really sorry for that, but I am very, very bad at writing all this.
मेरा देखेंगे तो और हालत ही खराब हो जाएगा.
We are also called this one as portable programming language. Java is secure. I have already explained one of the feature why it is secured. Of course, Java is object-oriented. Java is robust. You can say Java is, this is one of the best feature of Java.
Functional programming.
No, it is not functional program. It is only object-oriented programming. So that is the difference between Java and Python. Python supports both of them, functional as well as object-oriented. But Java only object-oriented. But
Java 8 के बाद तो वो
मैं समझ रहा हूँ. Java 8 they have introduced two things. They have introduced a concept called as Lambda. They have introduced one more concept called as functional interface, right? But you know, these two functionality doesn't fulfill all the functionalities, all the functional behaviors of Java. That's a still Java is struggling with functional programming. Even if you follow Java 17, same problem is there. Multi-threading is the biggest hit in Java. Java is also called as distributed programming language. One more feature I want, we have already discussed about this one. Java is not only interpreted, but also compiled. Java is one program in the world which is not only interpreted, but also compiled. This is one MCQ. This is one MCQ. Java is just compiled and interpreted. Not only compiled, not interpreted. And yes, then we'll only discuss these properties. If you go to, we'll have a lot of properties, like a number of properties features are there in Java, but we'll discuss a few of them. Simple, platform, independent, portable, secure, oops, robust, like this. I'll discuss 3 of them. Next question. Simple, as we know, Java is simple means it is. बोलिए.
भाई आपकी आवाज थोड़ी ब्रेक हो रही है. पता नहीं मुझे ही हो रही है कि सबको हो रहा है, लेकिन हाँ अभी थोड़ा हो रहा था पीछे.
यहाँ पर ही सेम प्रॉब्लम भाई.
आज मेरा नेटवर्क धोखा दे रहा है
शायद. हाँ
शायद से भाई इसीलिए.
ठीक है, काम करते हैं. पीडीएफ को नेक्स्ट कनेक्ट करेंगे पूरा.
भाई आप एक डिवाइस में साउंड ऑफ क्योंकि साउंड हो रहा है.
मेरा एक ही डिवाइस
पता नहीं, मेरा भी एक ही डिवाइस है भाई.
आपका स्पीकर ऑन है क्या? मतलब स्पीकर बाहर है क्या?
नहीं, मैं मोबाइल से कनेक्ट हुआ हूँ.
आपको आ रहा है क्या भाई?
हाँ मुझे भी आ रहा है.
अच्छा 1 मिनट रुको, मैं माइक म्यूट ही कर देता हूँ. प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं होगा शायद.
अभी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गया.
हाँ शायद. हाँ श्रीकांत भाई, सॉरी फॉर द डिस्टर्बेंस. आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए, अभी आवाज आ रहा है सही से. ठीक है.
अभी मैं क्या सोच रहा, 2-3 फीचर्स शायद बता दूं आप लोगों को. किसी ने बोला है, मतलब हम किसी एक फ्रेंड से बोला है कि वो प्लेटफॉर्म डिपेंडेंट इंडिपेंडेंट के बारे में बताते. सिंपल जो हम पहले जाते हैं ना, सिंपल मतलब इट इज वेरी इजी टू लर्न. See, even बहुत बच्चों ने, lot of students ask like, sir, is it mandate to learn any other programming language? Is it mandate to learn C, C++ before Java? I said no, not at all. If you don't have a programming knowledge, that is also excellent to learn Java. To learn Java, that should not be any prerequisites. If you have, that's fine. But if you don't have, no, it's not like that. You cannot learn. You can learn. 100% you can learn. It is very easy to learn and very easy to write. 2 features, platform independent and portable, right? These are very, very vital features. Let me tell you what exactly that one. Platform independence means it can run on any platform. Simple example. Suppose I'm writing a C program in my Windows machine. This is a C program running on my Windows machine. I compile the program and take this program into a Linux platform. Now my question is whether I could be able to run that same program in Linux platform. The answer is no, because C programming language is not platform independent. They are platform dependent. Platform independent means if I write a program in Windows, that program will be happily run on Linux, happily run on Mac or any other operating system. Platform independent means write once, use anywhere. I repeat, write once, use anywhere. Or run anywhere, WORA, right? Means I'm writing a Java code here. I'm compile that one, let's say, in a Windows machine. So what I find a bytecode. Now, who is responsible to run the bytecode? As we discussed, your JVM, right?
JVM.
Now, here, see, next 2 minutes is very, very vital. Now, JVM is responsible to convert this bytecode into machine readable form. Now, the question is, which machine? Machine containing Windows, machine containing Linux, machine containing Mac. Which machine? Now, the real struggle begins. Now, you can see JVM itself is not in machine independent. JVM for Windows is not compatible with JVM for Linux. It's not compatible with JVM for Mac. No. JVM for Linux is different. JVM from Mac is different. JVM for Windows is different. JVM itself is not platform independent, but the bytecode is platform independent. Once I have converted that into bytecode, now the JVM installed in Mac can happily execute it. JVM installed in Windows can happily execute it. JVM installed in Linux can happily execute that. We don't have to rewrite the code. That is the only difference. Java, JDK is platform independent, no problem at all. But JVM is not platform independent. Overall, we say Java is platform independent. We can run Java happily on any platform. But to run the Java program, one basic requirement is there, JVM. If JVM is not there in your system, you cannot able to run any Java code. That's for sure. Will you? Yes. Because you need to understand that for Windows, you need Windows JVM. See, whenever you are downloading Java, Java comes in different flavors. Java comes in exe format for Windows. For Linux, it is bin or maybe in gonzip format. For Mac also, that particular format will be there. So it is, if you go to Oracle website, you'll find all the Java versions. So I hope all of us should use latest version of Java so that we can learn new things. Java has been enhanced a lot. Like if you follow Java 8, after that, in the biggest change came in 1.5 version. Then after 1.8, tremendous functionalities has been added. Tremendous functionality. So if you install that, you will enjoy. I'll go to a very funny question. Like we basically use like Java. We said what exactly we basically ask in some forum, what is the gender of Java? This could be a rubbish question, right? This is only a fun question. This is nothing related to any technical things like that. We used to discuss this one. Java, what exactly Java is? What is the gender of Java? What do you guess? The people who know Java definitely smile on his
भाई जेंडर मतलब मेल फीमेल पूछ रहे हो क्या लड़की है
क्यों
पता नहीं लग रहा है
ऐसा लग रहा है आपको very specific.
I'm going with gender not to say.
No. Why we call? It's absolute light. We call basically Java as girl. Why?
सही पकड़ा ना मैंने
Up to Java 1.5, Sun Microsystem manage Java. Java born and broaden Sun Microsystem, right? After Java 1.5, now Sun Microsystem is gone. Oracle is taking care of it. These are the reason why you call Java as a different name. There is no technical proof on that. There is nothing like this. Is only a fun question, fun kind of activity that is like that. So don't please take it otherwise.
श्रीकांत भाई,
हाँ, बोलिए।
पक्का JVM प्लेटफॉर्म में इंडिपेंडेंट होगा ना शायद, क्योंकि वो बाइट कोड को इंटरप्रेटर और कंपाइलर दोनों पे मूव करता है ना। विंडोज और लिनक्स का तो बात का प्रोसेस अलग हो गया वो तो।
JVM इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं हो सकता,
बट
JVM हैज टू बी डिपेंडेंट। आप एक सिंपल सी चीज बताओ, विंडोज का जो आर्किटेक्चर है, लाइनक्स का जो आर्किटेक्चर है, मैक का जो आर्किटेक्चर है, ठीक है, वो अपने हिसाब से कोई किसी से मैच नहीं करता, राइट?
वो किसी से नहीं।
विंडोज जो फॉर्मेट को समझेगा वो फॉर्मेट को लाइनक्स नहीं समझ सकता, वो फॉर्मेट को मैक नहीं समझ सकता। Am I right? Okay. Now, बाइट कोड तो एक फॉर्मेट में आता है, ठीक है ना? तो रोल ऑफ JVM is not to execute. Role of JVM is to convert this bytecode into corresponding machine format. Now, अगर JVM इंडिपेंडेंट हो गया, तो आपको पता है ये कितने साइज का होगा? You have to write the code for JVM should contain all the codes for Windows, all the codes for Mac, all the codes for Linux, right? तो एक साथ तो एक नहीं, 3 अलग अलग चीजें निकालेगा, फिर आप कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे किसको रन करना है ना? इसलिए JVM यहाँ बैठा है, विंडोज के पास विंडोज का JVM बैठा है, इसके पास इसका JVM बैठा है, इसके पास इसका JVM बैठा है। इसीलिए जावा ने पहले से क्लियर कर दिया, भाई आपको जावा प्रोग्राम रन करना है तो आपको JVM तो पक्का चाहिए। आप मैक में जाके तो विंडोज का JVM इंस्टॉल नहीं कर सकते हो क्या? नहीं कर सकते। लाइनक्स में बैठ के तो आप विंडोज का नहीं इंस्टॉल कर सकते।
Bro, one more thing.
Yes, please.
If a Java compiler, if it converts the program to bytecode, then only this JVM will come into picture, right?
Exactly.
This is mandate that this Java compiler will for all the programs it will for sure it will convert to bytecode, huh?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, fine.
Absolutely.
Okay, fine. Thanks, got it.
It has to be compiled to bytecode.
Okay, clear. Okay.
Because that is the format, that is the way Java basically built in.
Okay, got it, bro. Clear.
So I hope this platform independent kind of thing is a bit clear to some extent.
Yes,
that is a very good. Java is platform independent, but JVM is not platform independent. Please make a note of it. It's a very good question. Even a lot of time interviewer is basically asked this question. And what is portable? Portable, we enjoy portability due to this platform independent nature. Portable means if a program is written in Windows, I can carry that program to any platform. I can carry that program to Windows, I can carry that program to any other program. This is portable. In portability, it says you can carry that one program into different areas. Portable means it is easy to carry the same way. If it won't be platform independent, we could not able to enjoy this portability feature. Portable because of platform independent. If platform independent is not there, portable will be not there. Simple, right? So these two features are basically dependent on it. The portability is dependent on this platform independence. Secure one part I have declared. Oops, also we have discussed like the class and every other thing. Remember, in a Java program, we cannot do anything without a class. If there will be a Java program, there has to be a class. Private, public, different issue. There has to be a class. Without a class, Java program does not exist. And it supports n number of object-oriented features. We'll go through one by one at some point of time.
Not only class, all three should be there, right, bro? Class, object,
yes.
and...
See, whenever we're talking about object-oriented programming, these are the basic things. Class, object, and reference. For all other programming languages also.
Okay.
And the next one, I'll conclude with this feature, robust. See, this particular feature, we say Robust means code never fails. Java code never fails. This is the tagline. आप बताओगे भाई कोड तो फेल होता है, आप ऐसे कैसे बता सकते हो कोड फेल नहीं होता? नहीं, basically it happens. Very less chance to fail, the codes are failed. Robust, see, to achieve the robust feature, we have different things. I'll go with example here. There are two things. One is compilation, second was interpretation. You know, yeah, in order to run a Java program, I need both compiler as well as interpreter. Both, I need both. The responsibility of compiler is to convert things into bytecode. In that process, what it does, it checks n number of things. Not one. Of course, it checks. Number two, it checks for type compatibility. This is the most valuable feature. Type compatibility means, this is a simple example. In C programming language, if I am writing integer a is equal to 10.23, will it be valid or invalid? Excellent. This will be absolutely valid. But by mistake, in Java, we all are trying to write this. Compiler will definitely give you a compiler error. This is what called as type compatibility check. And this is the responsibility of Java compiler. Yes, this is why it is called as strongly typed. Fine. This is number two. Number three, there are few exceptions. I'll go through what exactly exceptions are that are caught at compile time. So lot of things are there which are basically caught at the time of compilation, even before going for execution. So two-way checking is there. One is compiler checking, second one is interpreter checking. So runtime checking is there, compile time checking is there. That is the reason why we say code never fails. So failure in Java code basically happens very less. That's why we call this one as robust. One other mechanism is there called as exception handling. Exception handling means simple. Exception handling means let me tell you exactly the things what exactly called as exception. Suppose you are working on a project. The project had a deadline of 40 minutes. You are working on it, and in the next 20 minutes you have to present. Your time's already started. You have started working with the project. 30 minutes gone. You are working on a laptop or a desktop. Unfortunately, due to some problem, your power is gone. You are working on a desktop without a UPS. Your power gone. So entire thing that you have created, not saved. This part is gone. You have, see, power failure is we know power failure might be there, we can expect. But here, we have not made any arrangement for that power failure. This is the problem without exception. Sorry, this is the problem without exception handling mechanism. If you don't have exception handling mechanism, this should be your life. If power gone, entire thing that you have done is gone. But Java gives you n number of exception handling mechanism where you can manage all these errors, all these exceptions. The simple way, I can put an inverter, I can put an UPS. Now my job is done. If there will be a power failure, UPS will take the other part. Similarly, Java says if you expect some error in this code, put that code in a mechanism called as exception handling mechanism. So the exception handling mechanism in Java is so strong that we can handle almost maximum exception that can be generated from a program. Not only predefined exception, but also we can create our own exceptions. So not only compile time, in runtime also, we say, if in runtime there is an error, can you please skip this code? Now, I can skip this code. My program will happily execute. So these are the two reasons for which I can say Java is pretty much robust. Or in other words, Java code never fails. I think, is that clear or any explanation required? I don't think. So it's 10 already, so I need to stop right here. But if you have any question, any clarification, if some people require, we can go further. All are connected. Thank you so much. Please, please, please.